what's up, YouTube? What's going on, CCI family? It's your main man back with the game plan. Yep, once again, because, well, you already know, I can't leave you out there without that information or that education. Feel me? So today we're breaking down a company that, let's just say, has been moving like it's got a jetpack strapped to it. Okay, that's none other than Applied Digital, ticker symbol APLD. Now, this stock went from what you might call a crypto hosting roots kind of a company to positioning itself as an AI infrastructure player, a huge player in the market, okay? And the market has been reacting in real time. So look, APLD has seen everything from explosive highs to sharp pullbacks along the way, okay? And that's including and involving major AI partners such as Nvidia and even them stepping away, okay, from their stake. So today we're going to cut through all the blah, blah and look at what's really actually driving this name, okay? And then we'll talk about the business, the AI angle, the volatility and the risk, of course. And later in the show, I'm going to have a vet, as usual, come in and she's going to break down a couple of the highlights to help you visualize what's really going on behind the scenes. All right. So let's start with the basics. What Applied Digital actually is today and what the market thinks it might become. All right. And before I begin, or before I forget, I should say, today's word will be capacity. Okay. CAPACITY, capacity. All right. Now, what is Applied Digital, right? A lot of people still think Applied Digital is a crypto hosting company. Okay, because that's kind of how they started out. But that's old news. Today, Applied Digital is really a high-performance computing data center operator, period. Okay, they design and build facilities built for one thing and one thing only, which is power-dense AI workloads. Now, these aren't your everyday cloud buildings. Let's get that straight. These are specialized sites built to handle massive compute demand. Plain and simple, okay? Training models, running inference, supporting AI native companies, and the key word here is capacity. Remember that. Everything APLD does revolves around building, okay? Even selling and filling capacity, okay? Power capacity, rack capacity, and compute capacity, okay? Now, they've also cleaned up their business model, okay? The old cloud service segment is gone, okay? They've doubled down on being a pure AI infrastructure company, and that's why the stock has been so volatile lately, okay? Remember, volatility was last week's word, all right? So the market is trying to figure out just how valuable this new AI-focused capacity really is. You understand? Now that we know, I guess, a little bit about APLD and what they're doing, we're going to break down how they really make money, okay? All right, so here's how Applied Digital makes its money, okay? Now, they build high-performance data centers, okay? The kind that's designed for AI training and inference and, of course, heavy workload compute. So once those facilities are up and running, they lease out the power and infrastructure to these AI-focused customers who need non-stop compute, okay? Now, these leases are usually multi-year leases, which means APLD gets recurring revenue. Think of it like renting out like specialized real estate, but instead of office space, they're renting power, cooling, and environment needed to run these massive servers. Okay, so the whole model comes down to building these sites, and then they have to, of course, fill them with long-term tenants, keeping everything high, like the utilization and all, right? And when they sign a new tenant or expand a facility, it directly changes their whole revenue picture. Okay, and that's why the stock reacts so sharply to new deals. Okay, every contract tells the market how much demand there really is for what they're building.
All right, let's take a quick look at where APLD stands on the chart. The stock closed at $27.27 on Friday, and that's an important level because not long ago, this name was trading above $42. That's a massive swing, and it tells you just how sensitive this stock is to AI infrastructure demand. Now, we're sitting in a zone where buyers have stepped in before. If we can hold this level, the next logical move is a pushback toward $30. And from there, momentum can pick up quickly. That's the level where this thing can start running again. But if we don't hold here, the chart points to a potential retest down near $25.88, give or take. That's the lower support area where the stock has found footing in the past. From a fundamentals angle, APLD actually looks stronger today than it did during its last big run. They've tightened the business, focused fully on high-performance computing. And demand for AI infrastructure hasn't slowed at all. When a company is building real facilities and signing real clients, pullbacks like this often become opportunities, not warnings. Now back to you, Vince.
All right, CCI family. So that's our breakdown on APLD today, Applied Dynamics. Okay, this is one of those names where the story is still being written. Okay, there's real infrastructure, there's real demand, and a whole lot of eyes on how they're going to execute it from here. Okay, so as always, we're going to keep our eye on it, the fundamentals, the flow, and the bigger picture behind these AI infrastructure plays. Okay. And as always, I want to thank y'all for spending this time with me today. If you've learned anything here and I wish you want to be part of the family, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit a comment for me. Please send those comments in, okay? And as always, have a blessed and financially successful week ahead. And I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.